Okay, first of all, got a little mic to help with the noise because the last video, I feel like there definitely was some sound quality issues happening. So this is a Chenin Blanc, 100% Chenin, and it's made by Thomas. Okay, so just Thomas, which I think means and in French. Thomas at Marie-Lise Batardiere in Belleville in Lyon, France. It's in the Loire Valley. Anjou, France. I had to look up more about like the vineyard and stuff, but they seem to have uh, not as much information online. Can be cool. They're just doing their thing. But it was stainless steel fermented. Bubbles are still popping. There's like this uh, rich saline. Like if you were to go to the ocean and just bury yourself in the sand, and it smells like the ocean, but even more. It has red sand in the area. Maybe why it reminds me of if you have wines where there's a lot of active volcanoes, or inactive volcanoes, just like volcanic regions like the Canary Islands. There's like this almost like smoke. And if you were to imagine being at a volcano and there's that sulfury grip to the air. Well, it moves from this place of like moist, very, very silky into bright pear. Just this very like wavy song, just and it keeps happening. Like it went from salt, silkiness to pear, and it actually happened like 3 times. And it's still playing on my tongue. I still feel pear just dancing and brightening all my little tongue taste buds. Mm. I'm trying to find the song for this one. Mm. 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 Gosh, it's so fun. It keeps doing this very like slightly rich. I think it's the malolactic fermentation. Um, Beautiful silkiness, and I love things in stainless steel. It just feels like you get so many deeper expressions. I really appreciate when winemakers utilize stainless steel. It just feels like there's not other flavors really in the way of the grapes and the way they play. It was really interesting. I'm gonna open and sit a bit. When I tell you about this winemaker, I couldn't find as much on Marie as Thomas, but he has this really cool quote. But I'll tell you, one of the things about the winemaking for this bottle is it was aged in stainless steel, and then there was like a hint of sulfur. He tries to go absolutely no sulfur, but I like one of his quotes where it's like, "I'm pragmatic, not dogmatic. So if I have to add sulfur to save my wine, I will," says Thomas, a confident and brilliant Vigneron for whom we predict a great future. Unicorn Wines predicts his great future. And the whole sulfur thing is such a huge thing. It looks like he only adds very little bit of the sulfur. And so he was initially this this filmmaker, even got a degree in it, and then switched over to wine, bought his own area in 2012, and he was saying it was just him and the grapes, and no tractors or anything else, just wanted to do it. And now he does have his own cave area, which can really help with the production of natural wines, with the climate control, just naturally happening underground. Most of his vineyards are located south of the river Léon in Rabelais, on sandy and stony soils with clay on shale. Chenin and Cabernet Franc are grown here. He started off with Chenin Blanc and then added a few grapes after that. His best Chenin plants, including the Clos des Cocos, planted in 1968, are in the impressive Fay d'Anjou Coteau, north of the Léon. And I think I could be mispronouncing all that. But the Anjou, I did look up that word, is where the Chenin comes from. Do you know? Okay, so I wanted to read this quote about his ideas of biodynamics, and he went for that certification right when he started, which is fascinating because that can be a very expensive certification, like organic. And a lot of natural winemakers don't necessarily go for these certifications. They're like, we're doing it, we don't need certified, but he really stood for that, which I think is very cool. Okay, so this is a quote from him. Biodynamics aims to heighten the general acoustics, meaning that it allows the vines to communicate better with their environment, more deeply from the earth to the cosmos. Biodynamics also allows the winemaker and the plants to better interact. For this, three fundamental practices are at work. Preparations 500, 501, and Marie-Lise, Thun. The 500 is cow manure and a cow horn that is buried during autumn and winter. This preparation aims to better communicate with the earth. It's sprayed in spring. I guess you take the cow manure that's in the horn, unbury it, and then spray it. I'd have to look more into that. I feel like initially I thought the idea of cow manure was kind of gross, but not really, because I grew up on a farm and it's they're eating grass and then it goes back as fertilizer. The 501 is silica and quartz in a cow horn that is buried during spring and autumn. Okay, so the initial cow horn was buried during autumn and winter. And the 501, and that one was cow manure, and the 501 is silica and quartz in a cow horn, back to his quote, in a cow horn that is buried during spring and summer. This helps the vine to better communicate with its astral environment, air, vibrations, and the vibes and movements of the planet. It's sprayed during spring and summer, during the period of vegetation. Finally, Marie-Lise is a compost of cow manure that receives all of the preparations. It's a compost made in summer and spread after harvest. Biodynamics brings the plant, the parcel, and the entire domain, leaving it more rich and complex. And that shows in the wines. A living wine is better expressed and with a greater variety. I want to look into more what he's talking about with the 500 and 501, because I know that there's winemakers that also try to stick with the cycle of the moon on certain harvest days. And I know I want to make a wine rep who was like, I initially thought that was ridiculous. And then she started to taste wines that had that. They're really good. Maybe it has to do with the moon cycles. I feel like it's cool about natural wine. It's getting people to taste something, and it's like, oh, I understand why I care about all of this in the first place. Mm. There's something so deep yet playful about this bottle, and it continues to do that. I'm fascinated by this brightness of pear that moves into buttery, deep vibrational salt. And then we're back again. The way it's playing and moving, it's so beautiful. I'm not sure if I just haven't noticed it, or if this is unique to this type of wine to be able to go back and forth so playfully. Now I really want to pair it with like a pear Danish or pear jam to see how well they go together. I think it would also go with buttery white fish and some basil or dill, a very bright herb. Definitely like lemon zest, lime zest, preserved lemon, Ireland would be beautiful. The way we got this too awesome was Henderson's selection. So thank you for importing this, and thank you, Thomas and Marie-Lise Batardiere. It's spelled Batardiere for creating this wine. It's beautiful. I really want to find a song for it. I already know I did a song, but because he talks about the acoustics. And that was closer. This one for it.